All right, let's welcome in a guy I know very well. We have a mutual friend, the great Dave Polchinski. He came back to the New York Giants. And Justin Pugh, I think it's fair to say you will have one of the most iconic introductions on Sunday Night Football ever in the history of Sunday Night Football. How does that sound?
That is amazing. You know, I knew we would get a chuckle out of it. I like to joke around. We've been on text message threads before. I like to have a good time. So when I came into the ballroom the day before the game and I said it to some of my teammates and they started laughing, and that's a tough crowd. They don't laugh too much. I knew I had a good one. And as soon as the game ended, I thought I was going to get a little slack on social media. I had 2 false starts, a couple sacks. I didn't know the cadence, didn't know the playbook. And my wife goes, you know you just went viral, right? And I'm like, I don't even know what that means. But
yeah.
It was funny.
But in all seriousness, for you to literally come off the couch and go and play offensive line, and not only that game, Justin, if I'm not mistaken, you had to move positions due to an injury. All of a sudden, dude, you're off the couch and you're protecting the quarterback's blind side. What's going on here?
I'm sitting on the Stealth Tech Sectional from LVIII the weekend before, and then I'm getting called into Sunday Night Football. I'm playing left guard, which I played most of my career, feel very comfortable there. They slide me out to left tackle. I haven't played left tackle in 13 years since Syracuse University. Well, maybe one game with the Giants I played it before early in my career. I'm 285 pounds. I didn't think I was going to even be playing in that game because I had just got one practice under my belt that week going against on a Fast Friday as a scout team player with Tommy DeVito at quarterback. So it was a little bit of foreshadowing there. To go out in that game and struggle early but fight back, and we should have won that one. A little ref interference there at the end. It was a moment I will never forget.
So talk me through the idea of playing guard. And then having to go and play tackle. Like, that is a crazy transition, right? For those that don't understand, like, offensive line play and what it takes. Listen, for you to come into the Giants mid-year, learn a playbook, try to figure out
I didn't know the
stuff.
playbook at the time.
That's what I mean. You're figuring out what the hell's going on. You're playing the Buffalo Bills on Sunday Night Football, and then they go to tackle. Is that like an oh shit moment?
It was the scariest moment, and then you know the whole New York fan base is watching. Then you make some stupid remark like Justin Pugh straight off the couch, and you know all eyeballs are on you. So, you know, playing guard, you're going against stronger, bigger guys. They're not as twitchy. And then you go out and you're playing basketball when you're playing tackle. I haven't done it in so long. Just getting into my stance and knowing when you do silent cadence on the road, it's all off the center's bob. So as soon as the center bobs his head and brings it up, there's a timing mechanic which we know the ball will be snapped. I've never played with Ben Bredesen before, who was the starting center. I had no idea about his timing. So when he would bring his head up, I kept jumping the cadence, thinking I was on time, and he didn't even snap the ball. So now you have millions of people watching you jump off sides, then let up sacks. It couldn't have gotten much worse. And then we came back, I played really well, and we almost won the game.
So your season, kind of in a way, kind of springboarded the Giants in a way. I'm not just looking at you individually, but you guys were kind of down and out. You're able to fight back. You have that great win on Monday Night Football against the Packers. You mentioned Tommy DeVito coming in, giving you guys a little bit of a spark. What does it say about the guys in that locker room? Because to me, Justin, when things are going sour, we've seen it in New York. You got guys pointing fingers. You have guys going all over the place. And all in all, I would make the argument that you guys finished up the season pretty nicely.
We had a chance to make the playoffs. Obviously, we lost the game against the Saints. I didn't have my best game in that one. But it talks about the resiliency of the guys in the locker room. And the one thing that I wanted to do is bring leadership, bring a calming demeanor. I know how to deal with the media. I actually use the media and the fan base to my advantage.
You like the media. You're a Syracuse guy.
I love the media. And it honestly is the reason why I got the deal that I got. Because I told Joe Shane, if I leave, the fans are going to go crazy. So he kind of knew there's a little more pressure. I was going to get more than the vet minimum that most guys were getting at the time. And thanks to the fans for that. I love you guys. But yeah, I mean, we showed toughness, tenacity. It brings me back to my rookie year. We started out 0-6 my rookie year, and Tom Coughlin.
That's at 13, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Tom Coughlin, Eli Manning, Justin Tuck, all those guys, Chris Snee, stay the course, keep working hard. The NFL is a marathon, not a sprint, and we worked, and honestly, if you look back, if we beat the Bills, beat the Jets, those are close games, go our way, all of a sudden we're in the playoff hunt. And you saw the Green Bay Packers sneak in there, who we beat. So there's no reason the Giants can't get back to the playoffs next year.
Okay, so your future. Listen, you played really well for the Giants. I know a lot of Giant fans in my life are like, Justin Pugh, he's got to be back. He's got to be a part of this offensive line. He helps stabilize things. We playing football next year?
Yeah, I think we are. I mean, we're going to talk.
With the way you played, how would you not?
We're going to talk to Joe. We're going to, get this thing figured out. What I love the most is the business of football. What most people don't know is I was on the phone with my agent, Andy Ross, and Joe Shane trying to get my deal figured out the Tuesday after that Buffalo game. It went up until 12 o'clock at night where I'm arguing with Joe Shane about why I deserve what I ended up getting. And That's the piece I love the most. So they have some bigger fish to fry right now. Just hired a new defensive coordinator, getting the Saquon situation figured out, Daniel Jones, what they're going to do in the draft, and they'll get to me eventually. So we'll see what happens in March.
So is that something, as somebody who's a part of a team, you're making quarterback changes due to injury? Daniel Jones goes down in Vegas. Tyrod Taylor misses time. Then you see Tommy DeVito. He goes down in a game against Philadelphia. Is that like unsettling for you on the offensive line when it's like so many moving parts, you're hearing so many different things, or it's like, dude, hey, listen, I got a job, I got a block, deal with it?
It's the nature of the beast, but you know who's back there and what they do well and what they might not do as well. So you do kind of alter your game, because if I have Kyler Murray back there, it's different than having Eli Manning back there. And I had to make that adjustment early on in my career. But this was the year where it's like win by any means possible. If you remember the Jets game, it starts pouring rain.
Oh,
disgusting,
dude.
We don't throw the ball once in the second half. We should have won that one. Let's not go back on that. But like whatever
you guys should have went for it, by the way.
Yeah, well,
you should have went for it. I killed your coach for that. He knows it. I like him. I'm a fan. He's got to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, looking back, we didn't win the game, so we should have changed something. But I think that the resilience of the team really shined through, and whoever was at quarterback, we went out there and battled for that guy.
Okay, Saquon. A lot of Giant fans nervous.
Yeah.
He's going to get tagged, long-term deal. For him to handle his year on that tag, he has something to prove.
Yeah.
End of the year, I felt like he was getting better and better, Justin, as the weeks went on. What's it like playing with a guy like that?
The offense ran through Saquon. He's the heartbeat of the team. The fans love him for that exact reason. You take him second overall. Obviously, there's contract implications there with the tag. It depends on what hat I'm wearing. Everyone wants to know, what are they going to do with Saquon? Am I wearing a GM's hat? Am I on the side of the team? Am I on the fan base side or a friend side? As a friend, I want him to get as much money as possible. As a fan, I think fans are kind of split down the middle. It's like the running back market has shown that they're not paying guys the top dollar anymore.
It's unfair for these guys because they're busting their butt, they're playing at a high level, but you know this. They pay quarterbacks, they pay tackles, they pay corners and defensive ends, and GMs look at it, it's, the new age of running a football team. They're just like, it's a running back. I don't want to pay a running back, but a guy like that's special.
You look at Christian McCaffrey and what he's doing with the San Francisco team, and I think Saquon will have a very good argument that he provides as much, if not more, to a team than Christian McCaffrey. So I think he's one of those unicorns. I'm not a fan of paying a quarterback over 16.5% of the cap. I think you should tie their salary to the cap, because then you can pay more players. And this Super Bowl is a prime example of a team that paid their quarterback and now they can't pay everybody else. And then a team that's not paying a quarterback and paying everybody else.
Has a loaded roster everywhere.
You have two different philosophies. If the Chiefs win, it will go down as a quarterback and maybe a quarterback doing the most with the least of any quarterback of all time. Tom Brady took less money with all his teams. He had more talent across the board. No quarterback has made this much percent of the cap and still won a Super Bowl besides Patrick Mahomes last year. And that Eagles team was loaded last year. So if Mahomes can carry the team on his shoulders again, he starts creeping into that Tom Brady GOAT conversation.
Dude, we're going to be having that a lot over the next couple of years. Coach Daboll, your first experience getting to play for him, I'm a huge fan. He's into it, he's passionate, he's yelling and screaming. It seems like who he is, it doesn't seem like fake. I feel like that's Coach Dave's. He's going to give it to you guys. He's going to give it to the media. He came up with Belichick. He came up with Saban. How was your first year getting to play for Coach Daboll?
I loved him. The offense, when I first got there, we were struggling a little bit. And he sat into every offensive meeting and was coaching the offense. He had fun. He was cracking jokes. He is one of the best coaches, especially offensive mind coaches that I've ever been around. But there's differences there. And a head coach is the CEO. You're managing personalities, and that's totally different. And he had to eventually go back to the head coaching role after he kind of righted the ship for the offense a little bit. We still didn't play great down the stretch. Loved him as a coach. Loved him as a man. I think he's the right man for the job. And there's a lot of pressure playing in New York City, and he's handling it well.
Our alma mater, we got to get to this.
Yeah.
Dude, we're with Georgia, we're with Alabama. I'm dropping a we now when it comes to our alma mater, Syracuse.
Yes.
Justin is a Syracuse guy. I am a Syracuse guy. That's when I could throw we in there because, listen, I paid the tuition. I earned it. You earned it. You obviously gave your blood, your guts, the whole deal on the football field. Is there talk amongst the fellas like, yo, our boys mean business now?
Syracuse is back. Now it changes because you look this year and you see a team like Michigan winning a national championship. Not that they couldn't before, but all these schools now can start paying their players. There was maybe a few, and I'm not going to point any fingers at some schools that may have been paying their players before. The even playing field is starting to work its way out. So why would you go to a Georgia or an Alabama or an SEC school and ride the bench as a 5-star when you can get money to go to Syracuse now? I think this will change. They're going to have to change something. It is the wild, wild west.
No doubt about it.
We need to bring back the bowl season. But right now, to be a Syracuse fan, it is a great time. We are getting guys to commit from Alabama, from Texas A&M. Fran Brown is doing an unbelievable unbelievable job.
See, that bothers me with the Bulls, because when I was a kid growing up, and listen, I'm a guy, I like doing my pools, I do all this stuff, Justin. This year, it's like nobody's playing in these games.
Yep.
And there used to be, and I get it, it's tough, right? Because like if you're not in the playoff, it's like, well, why am I going to put myself on the line? I'm going to be an NFL draft pick. But there's something to the idea of, hey, like you competed your ass off all year, you're with a group of guys, you kind of go out with a bang. Like, I'm glad to hear you kind of say that rubs you the wrong way.
I don't love that either. I played in my last bowl game, and I was going to be a first-round pick. I easily could have sat out that last bowl game. I think they're going to expand the college football playoffs, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, they are.
So I think that will make it a lot more interesting for the top team. That's really what you want to see anyways. You want to see the top 25 competing for a championship. So I think that will end up correcting it. Figuring out this NIL system, the schools, you know what? You're going to have to start paying the football players.
Yeah.
This is a business now, and treat it as a business. I've been a big proponent. I've offered this idea up multiple times. Maybe we start giving the guys the option. Do you want to come here to play football, almost like a G League, or do you want to go to school? And if you're going to opt into, I'm going to go try to play professionally, you take courses that match up with it.
Manage money,
accounting,
stuff along the lines of that.
Your finances, learning how to manage like just relationships and personality. So it's a wild, wild west. We'll see how it goes.
All right, Justin, Love Sack. I know you were on the couch.
Yes, I was on a Love Sack.
On a Love Sack, even better. What do we got going on?
So I'm working with Love Sack and partner with them. They have the new Stealth Tech Sactional that just came out. You got the subwoofers in the couch, the speakers in the couch, wireless charging. You got the cup holders. It's like a Lego set, so it can expand. I had the Love Sack to start. Now I'm married. I just had a daughter 2 weeks ago.
Congratulations, by the way.
So my daughter, I got 2 dogs that make the couch a mess. You can pull these covers off, throw them in the wash, sit there, enjoy the game. I'm feeding my daughter. I click on silent mode. Love Sack can do it all, and I've really been a great partnership. I came right off the couch into the field, and now I'm back on the couch recovering as the season has ended.
Well, you're a new dad. Congrats. You're going to get paid. You better be back on the Giants next year. Giants nuts, they don't bring you back for what it's worth. But I'm a little worried about the golf game now, because now you're going to have a lot of time on your hands taking care of a newborn. And I know our buddy Davey wants to make sure that the golf game is where it needs to be. When we see you at Liberty, or we see you at Bayonne, or we see you at Silver Lake. He brought you to Silver Lake.
I played at Silver Lake.
I shot in
the 70s there.
Tight course, by the way.
Our best friend, Dave, got me into golf. He was a pro for the Giants charity event, got me in love with the game. And I've worked my game for the last 10 years. But ACL, then playing football, I got to stop every 4 or 5 months because the hands get beat up. I'm not like a receiver like Larry Fitzgerald, and I can play all season long.
You're a quarterback.
So now I'm getting back into the swing of it. I probably haven't played in 18 months. So we're going to get the game back. I'm probably at 15 handicap right now. The goal is sub 10. That travels anywhere. You enjoy your round of golf right there.
Listen, athlete. That's all I'm going to say. Justin Pugh, thanks for a few minutes, man. Keep up the good work, all right?
Appreciate you.